Hello, everyone. In this lesson, we are working on a TOEFL writing task called Write an Email. Before we move on to the question, this short introduction will help you understand what is expected and how to approach the task. You will practice writing clearly, politely, and effectively in a real-life situation, which will prepare you for the writing section. If you're finding this lesson helpful, be sure to subscribe to my TOEFL for more tips and practice to help you ace the exam. You will read some information and use the information to write an email. You will have 7 minutes to write the email. The city recently installed new bicycle racks near the public library. Okay, so this first sentence sets the scene for us. It tells us what has happened. The key information here is new bicycle racks. This is the main subject of our email. The fact that they were recently installed is also important, as it explains why we are writing now. This is the positive event that we will first acknowledge in our email. However, the location is inconvenient and blocks a walkway. This sentence introduces the problem. The word, however, signals a contrast with the positive news from the first sentence. The two key problems are that the location is inconvenient, which means it's not practical or easy to use, and it blocks a walkway. This is a more serious issue as it could be a safety concern. Teacher's note. Your email must clearly describe this specific problem. You want to write to the city's Public Works Department to suggest a better location. This sentence tells us our task. We need to write an email to the city's Public Works Department. This tells us our audience is a government agency, so our tone must be formal and respectful. Our main goal is to suggest a better location. This means our email can't just be a complaint. It has to be constructive and offer a solution. Teacher's note. Being constructive is key to a high-scoring response. Write an email to the Public Works Department. In your email, do the following. This is the main instruction. It confirms our audience is the Public Works Department, reinforcing the need for a formal tone. The phrase, do the following, is critical. It means there are specific points or tasks that you absolutely must include in your email to get a good score. Missing any of these points will lower your score significantly. Thank the department for installing the new racks. This is your first task. You must thank the department. It's very important to start your email on a positive and polite note. Even though you are writing to address a problem, beginning with appreciation shows respect and makes your suggestion more likely to be received well. From a scoring perspective, this fulfills a key requirement of the task and demonstrates your understanding of appropriate social conventions in writing. Describe the problem with the current location. This is your second task, and it's the core of your email. You need to describe the problem. It's not enough to just say there's a problem. You have to explain what it is, using the details from the prompt about the location being inconvenient and blocking a walkway. For a high score, you need to elaborate on these points clearly and provide specific details to make your description effective and convincing. Suggest a more suitable location for the racks. This is your third and final task. You must suggest a more suitable location. This moves your email from a simple complaint to a constructive piece of feedback. A good response will offer a clear, logical, and specific alternative location. This demonstrates problem-solving skills and a helpful attitude. In terms of scoring, providing a well-reasoned suggestion is essential for fully addressing the prompt and showing effective communication. Write as much as you can and in complete sentences. Your response. publicworks@citygov.org. The to field is provided for you. This email address, publicworks@citygov.org, confirms that you are writing to a government organization. This is a big clue about the tone you should use. You need to be formal, polite, and respectful. You are writing as a concerned citizen, not as a friend. Issue with new bicycle racks. The subject line is also provided. Notice how clear and direct it is. It has two parts. First, it states the nature of the email with the word issue. And second, it specifies the topic, which is the new bicycle racks. This is a perfect example of a professional subject line. It immediately tells the recipient what the email is about before they even open it. All right, let's dive into the sample response. We're going to break it down sentence by sentence to see how a high-scoring email is constructed to meet all the requirements we just discussed. Dear Sir or Madam. We begin with the greeting. We use Dear as the standard, polite opening for a formal email. Because we don't know the name of the person we're writing to at the Public Works Department, we use the formal and neutral phrase, Sir or Madam. The comma at the end is essential before you start the body of your email. Now let's start with the first paragraph, which focuses on the first required task, thanking the department. I am writing to express my sincere appreciation for the recent installation of the new bicycle racks near the public library. Let's break this first sentence down. We start with a very standard and formal opening. I am writing to express. This clearly states the purpose of the email. Then, we use the phrase, my sincere appreciation. This is a very polite and high-level vocabulary choice for thank you, which immediately fulfills the first task. Finally, we add the specific details for the recent installation of the new bicycle racks near the public library to make it clear what we are thankful for. This is a welcome addition for cyclists in our community, and your efforts to promote sustainable transportation are commendable. This second sentence elaborates on the appreciation. First, we say, this is a welcome addition for cyclists in our community, which shows that we understand the positive impact. Then, the sentence adds a sophisticated closing thought, and your efforts to promote sustainable transportation are commendable. Using words like sustainable transportation and commendable demonstrates strong vocabulary and makes the email sound very professional. Excellent. Now we move to the second paragraph. This is where we will describe the problem and suggest a solution, covering the next two tasks. While the racks are a fantastic resource, I have noticed a significant issue with their current placement. This sentence is a perfect transition. It starts by acknowledging the positive. While the racks are a fantastic resource, this is a polite way to introduce a problem. Then it clearly states the issue. I have noticed a significant issue. The phrase, significant issue, is formal and strong. The sentence ends by specifying that the problem is with their current placement. They are positioned directly on the primary walkway leading to the library's main entrance, which unfortunately obstructs pedestrian flow and creates a potential safety hazard, particularly for individuals with strollers or mobility aids. This is a fantastic detailed sentence that fulfills the second task. First, it gives the exact location of the problem. They are positioned directly on the primary walkway leading to the library's main entrance. Then it describes the consequences. The first is that which unfortunately obstructs pedestrian flow. Using a word like obstructs is great. The second consequence is that it creates a potential safety hazard. Finally, it adds a very specific and thoughtful detail, particularly for individuals with strollers or mobility aids. This level of detail is what earns a top score. I would like to respectfully suggest an alternative location. Here we begin the third task, making a suggestion. The phrase, I would like to respectfully suggest, is extremely polite and professional. The word respectfully is a perfect choice of adverb here. The sentence clearly states our intention to offer an alternative location. There appears to be an ideal, underutilized space along the brick wall to the east of the entrance. This sentence provides the specific suggestion. It starts softly with, there appears to be, which is less direct and more polite than saying, there is. It describes the space with strong vocabulary, an ideal, underutilized space. Underutilized is a great word, meaning not used to its full potential. Finally, it gives a clear, specific location, along the brick wall to the east of the entrance. Relocating the racks there would resolve the obstruction issue, while keeping them conveniently accessible for library patrons. This sentence explains why the suggestion is a good one. It states that relocating the racks there would resolve the obstruction issue, directly linking the solution to the problem. It also adds another benefit, while keeping them conveniently accessible for library patrons. This shows that the writer has thought the solution through completely. Thank you for your time and consideration of this matter. Now we move to the closing remarks. We write, "Thank you for your time and consideration," which is a standard and polite way to end a formal email. We finish the thought with the formal phrase of this matter. Sincerely, this is the closing, or valediction. Sincerely is a perfect choice for a formal email where you started with, "Dear Sir or Madam." Remember to put a comma after it. And finally, we have the signature. The email ends with your name. This is a placeholder. In the actual test, you would type your own name here to sign off on the email. Fantastic work. As you can see, this email successfully addresses all three tasks using a polite, formal tone, clear organization, and strong vocabulary. By following this model, you'll be well on your way to acing the write an email task. Keep up the great work, and I'll see you in the next lesson.